The Daredevil Born Again trailer is here. I am about to press play on it, watch it with everybody, and then I will share my thoughts on it, some of the deeper Easter eggs I might catch, just immediate reaction type stuff. Let's do it.
Thank you for finding the time.
Oh, I have time for you, Murdoch.
I will admit, it's not entirely unpleasant seeing you again.
It's not unpleasant at all, actually, for any of us.
By the look of it, you've come up in the
all
world.
three of them.
I could say the same about you.
The mayor serves his city.
Oh, whoa.
I can see you're not entirely convinced.
Can you blame me? I can't shake the feeling that you're gaming the system.
Why did you stop being a vigilante?
The line was crossed.
It's hard to come to terms with a violent nature. Hating the power it has over us.
This looks good.
City can't go unchecked.
Sometimes peace needs to be broken. And chaos.
Ooh, Muse. Oh, the blood on the wall? Frank.
Mind putting the hatchet down?
Bury the hatchet.
I was raised to believe in grace.
Ooh, Butch Ferris. White Tiger.
But I was also raised to believe in retribution.
Well, I found Muse one of his galleries, it would seem. Ah, they're going brutal on the violence. Gritty. I dig it. Wow. First impression, that was awesome. All right, let's do a quick skim through here and see what we find. The conversation that starts the trailer with Matt and Wilson, Wilson says, "You've come up in the world." I think that's a meta way of catching us up to speed on them. Not only are they saying years have passed since the, Netflix Defenders era of these shows have ended, but years have passed for the characters. But Wilson is married. We saw him. He was getting married, and Daredevil kind of blew that up for him, which the shot of his ring finger is a nice reminder of that. But B, they have come up in the world. I bet Matt's law firm is doing better. Wilson is literally the mayor now. And also, they're on Disney Plus. They're part of the MCU. They're sort of being embraced in a way they weren't before. So they sort of come up, and they now get to play with the Avengers, which Matt, Daredevil already has. Muse in comics is a brutal, brutal villain. Makes paintings out of blood and corpses. It's New York City. Still can't see Avengers Tower or the new Avengers Tower, whatever it's called, since Val bought it. It would just kill them to show it to me, I swear. I think it's insane that they ever thought about having Karen and Foggy recast or not a part of this show. I'm so glad to see Deborah Ann Woll and Eldon Henson with Charlie Cox in this shot. This trailer would have been different and weird and far less exciting for a lot of people if they weren't in it. The Times Square shot is crazy. What do we got here? Let's take a quick look. We got Rogers the Musical. It's all connected. Price lock guarantee. That's a real ad, I think. This is New Year's Eve, so that's interesting. It sets us, maybe we're heading into 2026 in the MCU. We got the sign up there on the left. Harlem's Paradise is the place where hip-hop, funk, jazz, and rock and roll come back to the mothership. It's a party, y'all. Harlem's Paradise being mentioned is really interesting because that's a key location from Luke Cage. And, this is an ad for Harlem's Paradise, but it could also be an ad for Mike Coulter and or Luke Cage returning in the near future. The Daredevil helmet mask falling out of the sky. I don't think this is really going to be in the show. This just seems like a promo shot. Bullseye is back. This shot of Vanessa and Wilson Fisk together has blood on the wall. I think that is a painting that Wilson bought from Muse because we saw Wilson earlier in that underground. So it might be this place, actually. Somebody might embarrass him in front of Vanessa. But I think that is definitely the villain's work. And it is, now the property of Wilson Fisk. The mayor of New York City is buying blood-spattered paintings. This is going to be a dark, awesome show. I love that the Punisher's back. I think that mind putting the hatchet down is a line. I think that Daredevil saying to him, mind putting the hatchet down, is an indication they need to team up. That Daredevil doesn't necessarily agree with Punisher's tactics, but he needs Frank Castle's help because they've helped each other in the past. And they didn't always get along. This is Michael Gandolfini, the son of Tony Soprano actor James Gandolfini, playing Butch Ferris. Butch Ferris in comics thinks he's the son of Wilson Fisk, which makes him not well. Butch, like a lot of people in, the Hell's Kitchen area, New York City area in Marvel Comics, wants power, wants control. I assume he's going to be a player in this and possibly a threat to Fisk, but also, maybe a threat to Matt Murdock and the good guys. The bodies hanging there, probably victims of Muse. In the comics, he kills a bunch of Inhumans at one point. I don't think we're going to see that, but it'll be interesting to see who the victims are, if they have any relevance or connections to the larger MCU story. White Tiger looks awesome. I think White Tiger and Muse are going to be characters that people might confuse a bit because they're both wearing white masks, and one has like black stuff coming down from the eyes. The other one has tiger stripes. White Tiger's going to be interesting in this because it's a character that gets most of its power in like a spiritual, like when it's at its strongest in comics, it's sort of from the tiger god, and it comes in like a spiritual way. So I'm curious if that's going to be a factor in this at all. In the Daredevil show, which I think is going to be extremely grounded. And the trailer ends with this awesome start of an action scene with Daredevil and Muse. But I feel like you kind of hear a tiger sound, but I think there's two different fight scenes going on at the same time. One is in a kitchen, one is in this basement lair where Muse is doing his awful art. One is Matt Murdock and one is Daredevil. So, unsurprising to absolutely everyone, I'm in. This looks awesome. I love how grounded this trailer is. I think the brutality that we saw in the Netflix series is all here. I am curious, given the fact that this was originally seen as an 18-episode first season, how having half the episodes is going to affect it, if at all. Obviously, this was very reworked, rewritten. Aaron Moore had Justin Benson, who did Loki and Moon Knight, Loki Season 2 and Moon Knight. Are great. I'm big fans of their work. I think they have done some of the best MCU work on Disney+. I think that it's important that Daredevil Born Again lands well, because if this doesn't land well, then I think a lot of faith in Disney+, which is already being tested for Marvel fans, is going to be lost. Overall, phenomenal trailer. I think this is going to be a big sort of launching point for the New York City stuff in the MCU, maybe like a relaunch, because Hawkeye already touched on it. Spider-Man has kind of been in New York, but like for most of his movies, he's either doing multiverse shit or traveling the world. So I think this is going to be interesting to see, bringing the Punisher, bringing Daredevil, showing Kingpin as a character that has his little meaty fingers in every piece of the pie in New York City as mayor. And whether or not Thunderbolts is impacted because Val is right there in New York is going to be interesting. Thank you so much for hanging with me for this video. If you want to talk more about the Daredevil Born Again trailer, we will have a full discussion and breakdown and all that on the Phase Hero episode right here on this channel and on all major podcast platforms. And we'll probably have some interviews for Daredevil Born Again when this show's coming up, so I hope you will be here on the channel for those. This is going to be a very exciting time to be a Marvel fan with Daredevil. Captain America's right around the corner. And there's just going to be a lot of fun stuff to talk about. So I hope you'll join us. Please subscribe to the channel. And I'm BD. I'll see you in the next video.